Well, hello, future me, or the internet. I'm not sure where will I put this video, but you know, there are times in your life when you are pretty low and you just want to talk to someone about your problems. So, I don't even know where to start. I have so much to say, but I don't know what to start with. Okay, let's start with what am I doing right now. So, my name is Steve, and I am 18 years old, and I am a freshman at university, and I'm currently learning computer science. And my my dream, my big dream, is to be a software engineer because I will tell you that later. And I've been on the so-called grind for a few months now, and you know, it's been hard. The grind is hard by definition, and I just want to share my thoughts and few advices how to be consistent, how to be disciplined, and yeah. So, what am I doing right now? What is this? So this is my trial work for a software engineering company that I applied to about a month ago. And I have to return um, a really long paper and application to apply for a job. And yeah, I have to turn it in tomorrow. I got like 5 more work hours tomorrow to finish my job, and I think I will make it. I made most of the things now. Most of the part of this trial work. It doesn't really matter. What matters is that it's done. It's basically done. If I have to turn it the way it is, I wouldn't be embarrassed. So let's say it's done. But you can always make it prettier and stuff. So I had 2 weeks for it and 40 hours of work in office. But I try to be a programmer. So I just set up a GitHub repo and I worked on it at home, here. Like, I think the 40 hours is a total joke. You can't do this. You cannot. I, I think it's impossible to do this in 40 hours, and I really, really need this job. So I put like 60 hours of work weeks each week. Okay, not each week, but 40 to 50. And these 2 weeks, it's been, I'm running on fucking fumes now. I drink fucking energy drinks all day. I just drink one, and to keep myself, alive. And, you know, these 2 weeks completely fucked me up. Like, I'm a really big caffeine addict now. I sleep like three or four times a day because I cannot keep myself awake. And I just I'm just I'm just tired, you know. I'm tired. I really am. But why am I doing this? Why am I on the grind? Because if even if it's it really hurts. Like I'm in pain every single fucking day. Why am I doing it? You know, and there comes the big saying, I have a dream, I have a dream. And I really do, you know. But my dream is not really be a software engineer, just to be elsewhere in life. You know, my life so far wasn't great, in my opinion. Maybe it had its moments, but overall I wasn't satisfied where I am in life. And, you know, I just wanted to change things because, you know, uh, I spent most of my high school years uh, sitting around bragging about how my life is so bad and stuff, and just wanting things to change and not really changing them. Yeah, it sucked. And I got to the point where I was suicidal. Like every day, I thought about killing myself. Yeah, it's really heavy stuff, but it's true. I just didn't want to live at that point. I was I was just like all hope is gone for me. And most of my issues come from not making any money, basically. Because the world without having enough money is a really, really harsh place. You know, my parents are not rich. They try their best. They try their best. I'm saying that. But they they just didn't figure things out, and we were always short on cash. And my parents had to do, my mother and my stepfather had to do some really horrible things to, you know, put food on the table. They uh they were in the drug business, and they grow weed in the basement, like a lot. And I was 12 at that point when I found out, and I just cried to my mom, why are they doing this? And she said, because they're paying us and we need the money. And I was scared to death because I didn't want my parents to go to prison, because if they found it, they would surely do it was a ton of stuff. I don't really, they were just machines in some bigger process, in my opinion. But yeah, I was scared to death. And I, at that point when I was, I was 13, 14, I don't really remember. it was really, oh, it was like a long time ago. So I understand them now because now at this point I'm living alone for how much? Like 3.5 months now, and money's running out. I'm paying my own apartment with my roommate, buy my own food, just basically live like an adult. And yeah, um, it's hard, but I wouldn't go back to my parents, you know. I love them and all, but I don't think they were good for me. They weren't good for me. I think they didn't really, especially my stepfather. He didn't really like the person that I am, and we had a lot of conflicts because of it. So going back to this story, my origin arc, you can say that. So I was unhappy with my life. High school was going nowhere. Like I was an average kid. On middle school, I was like the smartest kid in the class. So much fucking potential and stuff. And I got into one of the best high schools of this city. But yeah, I was the average kid there. And I just didn't know where to go. So the time come when I turned around 18. It was in February. So like it's November, what day is it? November 21st, 2024 to be exact. And on February I turned 18. And you know, I just wanted to move out as soon as possible because I didn't really like living at home, like, and I was really, and I had my suicidal thoughts. I thought my life was going nowhere and stuff. So I come up with a plan. I don't know when exactly, but I remembered I was always the strange kid in school. I was the fucking rebel who always asked the most questions, like questioning everything in life. And in high school, teachers didn't really like that. They were like, shut up, fucking kid. So I just turned into myself and started reading books. I bought an ebook and just read all day because I wanted to do something better with my life, and it wasn't really clear at that point. Like thinking back, I wanted to make my life better, but at the time it seemed like just pass the time with some not so not so just don't waste time. I just didn't want to waste time. Just do something important or like remotely important. So I started to read. And I read this book. It's called, what was it called? It was called So Good They Can Ignore You. That was the book. I don't know from whom, but it's a good book. I read it twice, 3 times, I don't remember. and it's about how to find your dream job. It seemed interesting, and I saw this story. It's mostly about stories from people who found their dream jobs, and I just found a story of this woman. I don't know how old is she, but she was a software engineer, and she was really good at their profession, and that's why they had a lot of control in the life, and she was making good money. And I remember she even said that she can take off any day and go with their kids to the zoo because she's so important that she can do it and the company lets it. And that seemed like a good life for me because I wanted to make good money and I wanted to have the freedom in life. And you can take a lot of jobs that give that, but you have to start somewhere. And what did I have? I had I have a PC, a computer, and internet, and a fucking brain that wants to do something. So, like, these were the three things that I had, really. I didn't really have anything else. I didn't have connections. I didn't have, you know, really good grades. I was average at most. And yeah, and I just planned out what should I do? Well, let's be a software engineer, learn to code and stuff. So, yeah, I didn't even really like, mm, you know, playing with. I really like computer games, but coding wasn't really interesting to me. But the book tells explicitly that you don't have to love what you do at this time. You will love it when you are getting good at it. And that sticks with me because it's so fucking true. It really is. So, yeah, going back to the story, when I assessed what I have, let's be a fucking software engineer. This was after working for 2 months at McDonald's. For like, I think it was at the end of 2023, like, what is it, 11 months ago, or 12, I don't know, 12 months ago, maybe, a year, basically. I got a job at McDonald's. It came from nowhere, it was a coincidence. I applied and got in, and yeah, started working there at my senior year at high school. You know, I had I had to graduate also, so life was pretty busy back then, but I managed to put in 20 hours or 25 hours at McDonald's. And I had about like, what was that in dollars? It was maybe like $1,000. And that's when I decided to become a software engineer. When I had when I worked for 2 or 3 months, and yeah, I had $1,000, and how should I spend my money to become a fucking software engineer? So I decided to apply for universities where I can learn computer science, and I bought a laptop, a MacBook, and this is the laptop. This is the Mac that I'm recording on. This is the laptop I got from 3 months of from working from McDonald's. I literally didn't spend any money, zero dollars from the cash that I worked there. And it wasn't really because I wanted to save for a laptop. I didn't even really care about the money at the time because I lived at home. I just didn't want to be at home, you know, and working was a good excuse to not go to home. Yeah, uh, but I bought my laptop and I learned some coding at the like I started coding. I wrote my first line of code at uh, like almost a year ago, like September of 2023, and this is November of 2024. So like a year ago, a little more, I wrote my first line of code, but that wasn't really practicing like a freak. It was just like uh, graduate from coding. So I didn't really put much effort into it. But at March, when I got my laptop, I really started living the grind lifestyle. I I have a really vivid moment when it all clicked for me. I was unhappy with my life, but I saw this YouTube video from a guy called Charlie Morgan, and he's about 25 and he's a millionaire. He started at 18, just like I am, and he was also unhappy with his life and made himself a millionaire. And now he's making videos about business and how to make money, stuff like that. And he had this really long, like 1 hour long video how to be a millionaire. And I don't know what was about that. It wasn't even really good of a video. It was recorded just like mine. No cuts, no nothing. Sitting at a whiteboard, drawing stuff, making people, you know, understand things. And he just said, it's fucking painful route. It's painful, but it will be worth it. And I just saw the pain on that guy's face, like he's really telling the truth. And I just closed the video and studied for 3 hours straight, 3 hours straight, like because I wanted to graduate with really high scores so I can get into the top universities, because I wanted to get to computer science. So it clicked for me, and life isn't the same since that moment. Like I feel I am living a different life from everyone else, because I think I really do. Everyone says it who talks to me for like an hour, well, more than an hour, that I'm fucking different. I'm just not normal, I'm not a normal person. So yeah, and when this weirdness comes from, well, I had to study a lot because what's my senior year and I wanted to graduate with high scores. And I also had work, and I decided I don't want to apply to universities in my home cities because I want to move out from parents because I hate that place. And yeah, I also learned to program because I wanted a job as a software engineer when I get there as a freshman. And it was March, and from November you have what, like 8 to 9 months to get everything done to apply for a position. Yeah, I knew that too, that it's really, really unlikely that it will happen, but you know, I told myself something that really would just concern people, but I really feel like it's true. I said I wanted to kill myself, but let's take a shot at this. And the worst case scenario is I overwork myself to death and I die. So it's basically like killing myself, but trying to make it kind of cool. So yeah, I was ready to die from overworking. So my days were most like I go to school, I get off school, I go to McDonald's like 3 or 4 times a day, a week, not a day. And after from McDonald's, I went to the local library and studied uh, programming at my library because it was a quiet place. It was a quiet place. It uh, it was far from home because I had to commute to the city where the McDonald's and the high school was. And yeah, I just woke up at 8, got off work at 6, maybe, with school, McDonald's, and programming and everything. And I just went home at 8. I got home at 8, eat, sleep, get up at 6, and do the whole process over again. I had days off. I would then usually put more work into programming because I wanted to do McDonald's to get some money in order to afford the apartment, to live there, move out. It was a really big goal for me to move out at least and figure out where I want to go. And being able to do that really helped my mental. I certainly don't want to kill myself now. I'm like a lot happier. Okay, just don't get concerned for me. I don't have suicidal thoughts anymore. But yeah, life was really, really hard at that time, at that spring. So I learned web development, like languages like HTML, CSS, JavaScript. Who know, the software engineers know what I'm talking about, but that doesn't really matter. Like, I was suffering. Coding wasn't intuitive to me. Like, I wasn't really good at it. And yeah, I just felt like I'm never gonna be a software engineer. Uh, yeah, I remember a moment when I was at a coffee shop and I was coding. and I followed a really long tutorial. I was like 16 hours in, about from I was 16 hours in from 22 hours. Oh, my screen is going black. So I was 16 hours in, and I had 8 hours still left from a tutorial. It had like 200 exercises and really complex stuff, and I just remember that I couldn't figure something out, and I just looked out in the window, and I saw all these people like chatting, being, happy, being there with their boyfriends, girlfriends. You know, it was a it was a Friday. Everyone got off work, and I just realized that I'm so fucking sad. Not sad, but tired, and I just started crying at the coffee shop. And I just knew that I'm forever different from everyone else. There's no going back now. I just can't. I can't go back. So yeah, months passed. At summer, I really just worked, studied programming, worked, studied programming. I was with my friends, but it was a lot less, you know. I really had to had to spend less time with friends to get more time for learning. And but learning wasn't easy too, because my stepfather would always ask like, what did you do this day? Did you help your mother and stuff? And I told him multiple times that I worked all day. He said, what did you do? I learned coding. Did you get paid? I'm like, no. Then what's the point? And I was like, come on. You, and he just didn't believe. He thought I was, slacking off. Don't I didn't really want to do anything. He thought that, but that really wasn't the case. I just wanted to do better, do better for myself. And yeah, uh, summer has passed. I got into university, to the first place that I wanted to be in, and I I got this apartment not long after. Wait, it was really late. It was at August. I got this at August. And yeah, I moved in with a guy that I knew from high school, and we just became like really, really good friends. He has kind of the same mindset as me. He also wants to do better, make money, ambitious stuff. And yeah, so what happened this semester? I'm a freshman, you know, and I started applying for jobs. I applied for, what was the number? 9 companies, and had 6 interviews. No, 5. From these 9 companies, I got replies from 2. From the first company, I wrote a test. It was like, it was such a stupid test. It wasn't even about coding, it was about trick questions. It was just ridiculous, you know. And I'm not really good at solving trick questions like sleeping beauty paradox and stuff. I didn't really study that. And the next company was that I am currently doing my trial work on. I had on the first interview, no, it was a test first, and when I got the results, I got into another interview and I applied for a software engineering job. And I talked to the engineers about what I do. I made two websites at that time. And oh, I didn't tell you where I found this company. So the university had like a big event. It was uh, computer science. What was it called? Like career days. And I really wanted a job, and I just went on it. And there was this company where they looked for uh, junior web developers, and that is the thing that I learned. So I applied for it, and they have to they had there in their requirements that you have to know Angular. It's a web framework. It doesn't really matter to this story, but it's a hard thing to learn. Like, it wasn't meant to me, to freshmen. It was meant to senior computer science students, graduates who have 3 years under their belts. And I just had 6 months, and I was learning by myself. It was really inefficient thinking back. So yeah, I applied for jobs, wrote the test. The test went pretty good. I got in, and I just told them my story. Like, what did I do? Why did I do it? Why did I want to be a software engineer? And they were like impressed. Like, they were like positive about my outcomes. Like, will I get another interview? So I got another interview, and they had like bad news because they don't want to put a freshman into a software engineering position because they are never did that. They were never applying. They were never uh, put a freshman in the software engineering role, which you apply to when you graduate. So, but they really liked my character, I think. I think I'm a likable person, in my opinion. I would like to be friends with myself, you know. So I told them, so they told me uh, that they don't want to give me a software engineering job, but they want to make a new position. It's like a help desk kind of things, but in big industrial tech help desk, not like with petty customers or stuff. So they asked me if I wanted that job because they thought of me, because then they didn't have to, you know, accept or have other people getting interviewed for the job. And I told them, yeah. And they told, okay, then we will have another interview with other people who are for that position, the lead developers and stuff. So I had the interview, basically told the same story, like how did I get into programming and stuff and stuff and stuff. So yeah, the thing is, I got in. I am at my trial work. This is paid now. I get paid for coding, which is like a really big accomplishment for me. Like, I get paid to write lines, which is like, I still can't believe it. Like I'm getting paid now. Not a lot, I get minimum wage because it's a trial work. But yeah, I get paid. Okay, so I'm doing so far I learned Angular for about 2 months now. And this is and the thing is with Angular that not a it's not really an easy thing to do, especially if you have so little time. So I followed a video tutorial from an Indian guy. It's like 18 hours long. It's from Free Code Camp. And I made my schedule at the university so I had to only had to go to lectures at one day and one evening. So I had 4 days of work and weekends because I didn't really want to go home. So I stay here at the weekends and I work. And I really enjoyed it. To be honest, I really enjoyed it. It was hard, but it was enjoyable because you can code, think about a problem, really understand it. And I bought this little whiteboard about like like 1.5 months ago, and it just really helped to see my thoughts on the whiteboard. It really helps. I recommend it to everyone. So yeah, I was learning. I was putting in 10 to 12 hour work days, but it was fun. And I went to lectures also, made some friends on the way. I talked about what I love because at that point I'm all in on programming. Like I was obsessed. I am obsessed right now. But it's how should I tell it? Yeah, it was a different kind of learning that from 2 weeks because this is not enjoyable. I had to make a whole app from scratch. It was a flashcard app. You had to learn languages. That was my trial work. Where is it? Yeah, it had a ton of specifications. I don't want you to see the company logo. It had a ton of features. You had to log in with Google and admin pages, lot of stuff, things that I never done before. And I also have my help desk work, which I also have to do, which I had to do. I talk in past because it's done now. So because I really did not enjoy this. I learned a lot, but I didn't have time. There just wasn't enough time to fully understand the problem, which was the fun part of programming, putting things together. So yeah, I had to basically work all day. I put in even more hours. I didn't go to the gym. I didn't see my family. I didn't even cook, clean, things that I'd done before because I'm a respectable human being and I clean my own house and stuff. But I didn't really do any of that. I just programmed, slept, eat, program, sleep, on repeat. And, I just feel my body giving up. To be honest, I really want to go. Just my body doesn't want to go really anymore because I live on energy drinks now. I sleep 3 times a day. I don't really eat anything. I think about work all day because I want this to happen so bad. If this doesn't work out, I need to go to back to McDonald's because I have 1 month of living expenses like on my bank account, 2 months if I want to really save up. But yeah, I have 2 months, 2 months of time, not a lot of time, and I made this money back in spring and summer. You know, I saved nearly all of my money to save for this chance that I have now. I worked for this chance to be in here, and yeah, the final. I'm starting to arrive at the final moments of this because if this works out, my life becomes immeasurably better. I will have a stable job, a good paying job, and I have a software engineering job as a freshman. A thing which, I haven't met anyone that has a software engineering job at, second or third year, not to say freshman. So yeah, uh, I just work all day, didn't really do anything, didn't really see my friends. I went back for one weekend and I even worked there a little. But compared to here, I almost work nothing at home because it's so fucking inefficient. Like this whiteboard, it's so helpful that I can't I don't really know how I managed to graduate without these. It's so helpful to see your thoughts. It's incredible. Yeah. So today I got up at 7 a.m. It's what day is it? Oh, what day is it? So it's Wednesday, not Wednesday. Tomorrow. Okay. I don't even want to check it. Maybe how much? I'm talking for 48 minutes now. And I'm just really tired now. I think you can see on me, but I'm really tired. Today I got up at 7 a.m., had 6 hours of sleep because I got off work at 10 o'clock before that day. And I got up at 7 a.m., went to lectures, wrote some tests, but when the lectures were held, I even just pulled out my laptop and worked on this trial work. And studying with 6 hours of sleep is really hard, even especially because I'm doing it for 2 weeks non-stop. And I just, sleep in. I sleep at random places now. I wake up, I study while I can, while I have power. And then I went to my bed, sleep like half an hour, get up again, study while I can. And this process is really just breaks the man. But I knew this will be just a just a 2 week thing, but yeah, I don't really even know what I want to say with this. I just want to tell you, you the viewer, that there are people who have nothing in their lives, nothing going for, and they can make something out of it. It's really possible. It's fucking hard and painful, and sometimes you wish you die than work one more day because you know it's gonna be 12 hours long. But in the end, it will be worth it. You know, I started listening to people who I look up to, like Kobe Bryant, Alex Hormozy, like all the big names, you know. And I just started listening to their quotes, started listening to motivational videos. I had this routine where while programming, I listened to music, and when my I sort of the demons come, you know, the brain fog, because you just can't process what you hear. I went to sleep and put on some motivational videos, and while like sleeping, David Goggins shouting like "Get a motherfucker," it's like just a different kind of feeling. Like, yeah, I'm really on the grind, and I fucking hate it. Let's just keep going. Yeah. So, to wrap things up, I think it's possible wherever you are. If I put this, I have this thought that I want to put it onto the internet, but I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe just for myself who becomes a successful entrepreneur or something. But if I put in the internet, I want to speak to you, the viewer. Like, I came from literally nothing. If you have a computer, a brain, and internet, you can be a software engineer with like 9 months. In 9 months, it can happen. Well, if it doesn't happen, it would be really shit to tell this, but yeah, you can make progress in life if you have the will. If you have the will. And you have to have a good enough reason to do it. You know, because I hated my life and I wouldn't care if I die from overworking. It was a really strong reason, and that is and was that kept me going throughout the really hard times. And yeah, if you are on the grind, if you are suffering, if you are thinking this will never end, the pain will never end, and I just should give up, I just want to say I understand you, because I am in the same position now. I am on the grind. I'm not successful. I'm not like Alex Hormozy who made this and now he talks about stuff. Like, I didn't really figure out a lot of things out. And I'm with you. And you are not alone. You know, I really feel alone sometimes with how hard I work, because I know no one who works like me. But I know you are out there, and I have all the respect for you. You will make it. You will make it, and I will make it. And I see you there. I hope we meet one day. So yeah, it got to 55 minutes. Yeah, it's almost 11 o'clock. I work from 7 a.m. to 10 with like really, really little sleep. And yeah, I have nothing more to say. I hope you will have a good day, a good life. Yeah, I think I go to sleep because I just can't keep my eyes open. So, yeah, bye.